Good morning, hello. Hope your Tuesday is going great today so far. Hello, Zilby too. I came down here to find that Zilby had decided to sit on my chair. So I'm guessing he was wanting to be the one streaming today, but I'm not gonna, he'll just join us. Are you done? All right. What are we working on today? Let's see. It's going to be continuation of yesterday. Now, I couldn't help myself. I was so excited about some thoughts I had for getting the world working in the ECS system, that our library, that I ended up on my laptop right after work, just sort of starting that over in a more like library like way, and then creating the flocking game and sort of like combining them together to sort of like actually using them for real, because I figured if I just create the entire ECS library in an isolation and then try to use it in the flocking library, we may end up having trouble. So basically we get like an integration test as we're building it. So if I pull up VS Code, Megathorx, hello, good morning. Well, morning for me, evening, afternoon, whenever it is for you, good whatever that time is. Ah, my tea is here. Thank you. All right, I'll just set the timer for how long that's gonna steep. Okay, so what are we doing here? We have our BBECS, so that stands for Brooks Builds ECS. Those nasty time zones. I know. And of course, I don't know where many of you are calling home right now in the world. So it's sort of like random. It's like, oh, is it morning? Is it night? Who knows? Well, you know, I don't. Okay, so here we have in our world, I have our library. It's just a nice fun pub mod world. I moved that out into its own world folder. That way, in case I need to like add anything else, we could just have only the mods in here in library, whatever we expose from our library. So our world itself is we have the ability to create a new world and to insert an entity. You're strapped from Australia, so CET, it's around 1500, so that's like 3 p.m. 3 p.m. All right. Oh, that's a not too bad of a time. Well, so awesome to have you join us. Let's see. Okay, so then I am trying to do a lot more testing with this, which is going to be really nice when we eventually have to make modifications when we do more complex games. Lord Mizd, hello. It's been a little while since I've seen you. How are you doing today? And I think, okay, yesterday it was like a fun up and down and up again. I started building it all with the generics that I had learned yesterday morning, and it all works with testing. But as soon as I tried to use it for real, which is in this flocking Rust game here, I discovered that there were some problems. Yeah, you haven't been here much. Sorry about that. No problem. It's all good. I've been seeing you like on some of the other channels when I lurking on other Twitch streams, so I know you're still around, and so that's all good. So right now I started with generics, and I've switched to in data, storing our data as in a box dyn any. It's kind of interesting. I didn't learn until like, I don't know, Saturday, that there was an any type. in oh, I guess it's not any type. There's a trait called any in Rust that basically is attached to everything, well, almost everything automatically. And so it allows us to just say, yeah, if it's anything, that we're gonna match anything. So that's what this is doing here. Is like, I can just dynamically dispatch anything here. It does seem pretty jank, doesn't it? Yeah. I am Hardliner. Hello. Oh, and I'm Hardliner. You subscribed with tier 1 for 4 months, and you're on a 4-month streak too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for that subscription. I know it does seem pretty jank, but the idea with this being like a more generic library, I need to store anything, but what I'm having it be is just a series of vectors. They're all like one type of vector, and that's kind of like what I want it to be. What I'm like, I may have to extract this even further to like some other data structure or type, maybe. So we'll see about that. And I have the same problem with the test in here of like, okay, well now trying to get that out to test that I successfully put in it is a little bit interesting. So for example, I have here, we create our data. We're also using, it's ugly, but sometimes unavoidable. And we'll see about how that feels like in this specific library. I'm also like slightly basing this off of Hex, and I noticed that Hex was making liberal use of the any type. So that's also like why that's how I learned it. I was reading through Hex's source code. Okay, so as the key for each of these vectors, I am using the type ID. So that being, okay, if we have like an F32, for example, is a type, it has a unique ID per system that allows me to put in here. My fun pronunciations. Okay, so I get what this type ID is from this 32. I insert that into data, and then to test that it was inserted correctly, I try to get that out. And so that's where this test is struggling. Is I say, okay, well, also doesn't help that I've named this data with a data field in it. Not necessarily the best. Oh no, not hacks, hex. Let me show you. There's a library called Hex, which is right here. A fast, minimal, and ergonomic entity component system. And it's really, really, really simple. Yeah, no, I'm not hacking. That being said, is there? Oh, there's no hacks. We could totally create our own. Oh, hacks is a programming language? Okay, I didn't know that. We could also make it a library. I don't know what we would do with it. Oh, it's a really awesome one. I think you've told me about it before, or somebody maybe have. I forgot about it until now. All right, so we need to fix this test. We need to get this so we can actually test this. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, data. Now this is the hash map. So then I'm getting based upon the data ID. So get that out, unwrap that because it's an option. Okay, that gives me a vector. So get me the first element to the vector, and that gives me this box. It gets a box with an any type in it, a dynamic, so we don't know what it is in there. So I do something called a downcast, which is an unsafe. Behind the scenes, I think is it unsafe? No, I think it's safe because I'm telling it what type it's going to be. Rizix, hello. its concept is to make code cross-pliable to pretty much any language, where cross-piling means transform to another language. Oh, sort of like transpiling. Interesting. I would say that I would check it out, but I would just go into the backlog of Doom, and then I would probably still never get to it. So I will, I won't make that promise. So I downcast and I tell it what type that I want it to come out as. Execute that. It becomes a result. And so I unwrap that. And that, like, so it should crash. Like this should crash if it's not an i32, which is what I put in there. And if it is, it should, I should get that raw data out. I should then be able to say, okay, this raw data, here I see it's a box i32. I want to say like, okay, box new i32. The problem here is that I'm getting this cannot move out. Hacks is a good way of avoiding Python and JavaScript. Oh, interesting. I can see that being a draw for many, many people who hate both languages. Okay, so it cannot move out of this vector. And either I think it's because any doesn't implement copy. Well, that kind of makes sense. Any doesn't know what it is. There's many things that do implement copy, but there's many things that don't. And so how could we possibly know? I can't do multiple types here. Although, you know what I might be able to do is an Uber trait. So I think like if I do something like this, copy, like I want both. This is gonna yell at me saying like, hey, you can't do multiple traits. Yeah, only auto traits can be used as additional traits in a trait object. Any is an auto trait. What if I did this? Plus any. This is terrible. Oh, I thought any was an auto trait. I guess not. Can I get a reuser reference? Here, let's try that. So I was trying that a little bit last night, and I was also just running in circles with that, like where it's getting close. I know. That I'm not gonna do that. That would have been terrible. Also, like forcing myself to implement copy could be a problem later. So if I just try to use a reference right here, I move the problem down to here. So now it's saying, okay, can't compare. So let me reference this box so it matches here. And we're right back up to here with cannot move out of index. And it's like, what? Get ref. Okay, yeah, I tried that one too. So depending upon where the problem is, so I think it's right here. So as ref, hit save. Expected, so okay, so that's not the right one. How about just like reference all the places? Let's see, data as ref. Oh, nope, it really doesn't. Okay. I don't think you can call data.get since that probably wants to take ownership of the data in the vec. Yeah, let's try like a get ref. See, get returns a reference to the value. So get already is supposed to be an option with a reference. But I think downcast is... Yeah, I know. So like that should be fine. Now let me start this over again, and maybe it'll be more interesting. So if I do data.data, so that gives me this hash map. We do a .get. I'll hand it the reference to the test data ID. Okay, so that gives us an option which has a reference to a vec. So if I unwrap, I now get a reference to the vector. Can I do that? That gives me the vector, the box. Okay, so then I want like the first, even if I just do this on itself. So like datas, let's say. And then I want to get the first one. So maybe I just want I have a reference to a vector of this box. Let me get like the specific data that we care about, which is the like, I don't know, the test data equals raw datas of position 0. Now this is trying to take ownership here. I could iterate through it, maybe. Maybe I could iterate through it as something like that. Because I don't think, or can I do this? Raw data is of position 0. Oh, okay. So that gives me a reference here. Then can I downcast? So notice that there's no downcast ref, unfortunately. And we'll say that this is an I32. Okay, so then I'll unwrap you. Now we have a reference to the box, I32, your test data. Cannot move out of index. Cannot move out of index of standard. You know what? I want to get like the actual error here. Like, maybe it'll show me exactly where in that line it is too. Let's see, we're in. So here we see, oh, it's just the entire thing. Great. Move occurs because type has standard box to box dine any, which does not implement the copy trait. So that's in the world mod. And then here, okay, so it happens at the raw datas, which is exactly the same error. But now it's saying it's right here. So trying to get this out. So maybe if I iterate through it. So this gives me a vector like that. What if I just do an iteration? So for downcast, since downcast takes ownership of the box, this isn't going to happen. However, if you use a RC dine any, you can use RC. I don't think I've used RC before. Is this going to be anything though? Attempt to downcast the RC dine any to a concrete type. Or is RC a clone? Yeah, let me. Okay, so we have standard any, standard RC. Okay, so value is RC dine any. So use an RC instead of a box. If lowercase string equals value downcast string. Okay, so it seemed like this might work. No, I don't. Let's take a look at what an RC is. A single-threaded reference counting pointer. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's try it. Let's find out. I've not used it before, so let's see. If I say instead of a box, this becomes an RC. Standard RC. Okay, so we use RC here now. So you need to be an RC. It's a reference counting a pointer which you can put anything into, and then you can clone the RC, but it actually doesn't clone the data, but just pointer it basically a way you can work around the borrow checker in many cases. Well, let's see if this works. This might be great. Okay, so let's try this again. Here we have raw data is our vec of an RC. So if I get the first one, that gives us this RC. Then I want to downcast to an I32. Execute that, unwrap, and that gives us an RC I32. And so if I test, okay, so this is going to be raw data again. Raw data. And you're going to be a RC new 32. Expected struct can't move out of index. Oh, before you downcast, you gotta call clone on the RC. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna get this, unwrap, get that thing, then we clone. Okay, I think you're right. I think this is gonna work. So then if I cargo test this, we should only have one error. Oh no, it's not gonna let me see that working because we have to make sure this is working now too. So let's come back here. Let's do the same thing now. Now we know it's an RC. We're going to get this out. So before we downcast, we clone here. I don't have to do the clone there. That gives us this RC test location. And then I was experimenting with different ways of like getting that data out to test it. Let's try this. You can use an RC if you want to share a reference in many places too, which I mean is happening in my tests. It's not happening in the normal code, but RCs are very, very good to know. I can see that. This is going to be a good tool to have in my tool case. Oh, and the tests all pass now. Perfect. Thank you so much, Lord Mist, for this. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna head back over to the flocking Rust. Now, right now, I don't have very much in here. Basically, we have like a very, very, very basic game. And we have set up, let's see, where is it? Now, I was, previously, I was using generics instead of dynamic dispatch. So that's why I was having to sort of like force myself to use generics here. This is no longer necessary because I'm no longer using generics. I'm now just using the dynamic dispatch with the dyne any. So that's fun and cool. So I can get rid of all of that. So you go away. You go away. So you should probably yell at me. Okay, there's no more place that... Oh, I've got this generic here. Okay, now in main, I don't have any generics happening here. I have that. I don't need that. Okay. So let's see. We create our flocking state. Okay, so we create a location here. We set our location to be what it is. In our components, location is just this. Just a nice little structure here. I then insert, so world insert entity, and then add that in here. Now, this seems to all be working. If I... Let's actually create this over here. CD into blocking Rust. I'll go run this. Oh, current package believes it's in a workspace when it's not. Well, that's because I need to update. Let's actually turn off you and turn on you. There you go. And of course, I've run this on my other computer, but not this one. So it'll take a little bit of time. Ooh, and we can do that. Okay, so hold on, what happened here? In GGEZ, to RGBA, huh. Now I'm trying to use the brand new GGEZ, the 060, because it did update. It's sort of like a bittersweet update because it also marks the end of Arctic Fox. No. It's Fox something. Not Arctic Fox. Oh man, I forgot his name. The main contributor and creator, Ice Foxin. Yes, that's correct. Also, hello, Utsby. Ice Foxin is moving away from the GGEZ. He's just too busy, and it's been a really great run. It's gotten like he's taken it so far. So he's looking for people to like take over. I don't know if it's he's transferred ownership yet, but that'll be good. All right, so what happened here? So inside of, so in context, we have image data I2 RGBA8. So what happened? Now I'm trying to draw here this bird. Now, if I don't draw, now I haven't tried running this on Windows yet, so maybe there's a Windows problem. Oh, yeah. If I update you to, let's see, in flocking rust, okay, what if I just do this? Okay, same problem. What if we drop you down to 0.5? Recompile with all this. Now, there's been like, I think even with like 0.51, there's been some changes to it. I don't think I was using 0.51. I think it's like using 0.5 or 0.49 or something like that. I can't remember. Okay, so right, because in 0.6 some things were changed around. So if I need to use 0.5, we need to come back to, okay, so black doesn't exist inside of color, or black exists, I think, inside of graphics. Graphics black is where it is. Mesh builder. What are you yelling about? Right. So circle. So they've added it. So circle returns a result, but now, like in 0.5, it was just the build. And of course your graphics white. All right. So if we do that, and in main, you need to be, okay, you need to be references, mutable references, I think. And mutable reference here. Oh, and make you mutable here. And make you mutable here. Okay. All right, so no errors showing anymore. Let's see if this works now. Okay, it does. Perfect. So if I come back to our main library here, I turn this draw back on. I don't know if you can see it, like in this top left corner up here, there is, that's where the circle is. It's white, so it's like hard to tell against the top here. And what we want to do is I've created the location and I've inserted that into the entity. So basically I've created a bird and I've inserted that in here. Okay, fine. Now what I want to do is query all the locations. So get all the locations and then draw them out here. And so then we're going to sort of like add in everything else. Like in update, we can query the locations and the velocities and grab them at the same time. So I'm going to be building out the world and the ECS system at the same time as this flocking simulation. So we can just go back and forth with that. All right, so let's go ahead and make a commit since we're doing a new feature. Where are you? You are. So flocking rust. Switch back to GGEZ 0.5 for Windows. And then BBECS. This is using an RC now instead of a box. Okay, so all right. What do I need to do? I need to query for everything that has a certain type. And I think that should be relatively simple. Now, the first one is a draw. So I just need I don't need a mutable query. I just need like a reference query. So let's start here in data, and then we'll sort of like move backwards with this. Because I think that the world is just going to forward anything that they care about in. So how is this going to work? Okay, so function query for data that mute data equals data new. And like entity data might be correct, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to create like an entity outside of this later on when I get a little bit more complex data structure needs or data needs. Or query needs. I was thinking about that last night too. All right, so then let's insert a location essentially. Oh, it doesn't really matter. We're going to insert something. So we can do like the same thing that we have here. So let's just like insert, like let raw our entity is going to be equal to, let's just make that a like an I32 for right now. So this could be like 32, I32. We can get our type ID. Our type ID, it's going to be equal to entity dot type ID. So that gives us that. That'll be useful for like extracting out and verifying that we actually got this. Then we're going to insert this in. So data dot insert our entity. It's actually a. Oh yeah, it's just going to be the new. What type? What do you require? Import any. Oh yeah, so you could just be anything. So you're going to be our entity. Okay. Then we want to query for this. Actually, I don't know if I need the type ID specifically out of here. I think what I would do is hand it the type that I need. And then it will use the type, use like actual type ID, not just method off of all types or like all things to get the type ID, to like find it and then return the entire vector. So in this case, I want to do a data dot. So let's do a let. This should probably return an option in the case nothing is found, or should it just be an empty vector? I don't know. I mean, let's just like go one step at a time for this. So let's say we have a query result is equal to data dot query, and then I think this is going to be now I'm doing vectors because then I don't have to like, it can be as like whatever size of query that I want. And like, I know a lot of the other libraries are using tuples, but they're also using generics with those tuples, and they're like predefining them all. I'm seeing whether or not how far I can get with just vectors, so I can just grow it and not really care. I don't think it's going to be quite as fast of an ECS system because of that, but also I'm going to see how far I can go with this. Okay, so I want to now pass it the type that I care about. This is going to be just an I32. So if I do that, we should be able to get something back out of this. So let's actually create a query. We're gonna get a reference to self, and then we're gonna get the, I guess like the query. What do we want to call this? These are gonna be like the types to query. So the types to get, which is going to be a vector of types. So how does that work? How, like what is this? I'm actually really curious. If I wouldn't be that. Let's just go to I32 to begin with. A primitive type, does it have any traits? Actually, it does. Okay, so I probably can just use the any trait with it then. Yeah, any. So it's gonna impl any. And then we're gonna return, I don't know yet, so I'll just not worry about that right this second. It'll yell at us as soon as we get there. Okay, so then from this, now what are you yelling at? Okay, expected value found built-in type A32 and not a value. What if I pass you like a reference? No, okay. How do I query and check for a type? And I guess like it's... Okay, because it's expecting actual like values. If I want to pass in... If I want to pass in the type itself, I mean, I could just pass in, I could just say, hey, a requirement for this is do you pass in the type ID that you care about. That seems not the best to use case, like use, not the best design, but it's possible. Like I could just say, you know what? I want a type ID. Okay, now what is this? Do we have type name also? It is intended for diagnostic use. Okay, so we're not supposed to use that. Type name of value. Okay, there's type ID and type name. I only see like a type ID here. I want to come and take a look at, what do I have under, oh, stay back here. If I look at any, what else do I see in here? That's experimental. Okay, that's nightly. Type ID is a struct, and then we have the any trait. I could do the type name. And so that means I want to pass in the string. Oh wow, but it's not exactly what what you would expect. So it's not just something like string. It's like the full thing. Yeah, and it's not guaranteed what that is. Yeah, it might just be option string, and it might be like the full path to it. Ugh, that's a little bit hard to determine how to use it. I'm curious if I search for. I want to see what hex does. So let's go down to their world query. Okay, so world.query, we give it the types that we care about here. Okay, as part of this. And that's it. Okay. Oh, so I wonder if I'm gonna have to use generics for the query. It's also interesting that it's a reference to these. I wonder how they determine and see that. I want to see how this works. So query. Okay, takes this Q query. Is that so you're a generic, but then you're a type? Where are you defined? Oh, you're up here. Okay, so create query. Which is probably... Okay, so you're a trait. Type fetch for lifetime fetch. Cool. Fun. And fetch for fetch. That's interesting. So they create a custom, okay, so they create a trait which has a type. I guess I could have it be is it generic of how it's implemented? So like, for example, if I come in here to data and I say, okay, let's say that you're generic here. And we don't know what you are, but you implement send sync plus static. So let's say you do that. And then types to get, it's a vec of t. Okay. Let's also do debug. Oh, I love it. Automod blocked pretzel rocks. Apparently it was a terrible song name. Okay, so you're happy there. You're not happy. If I do just I32, you're not happy because it expected the value and built-in type. So generics won't help here. Oh, wait, no. I need to do this. Query colon I32. Like that. And then, oh, okay, I don't actually get these. Here. So then with this generic here, how do I tell like what that was? I think I could do like a type name. Oh, I can do that print out the type. So maybe I can do like a debug. How does that work again? It's type name of that. Okay. Standard any type name of T. So just print that out. Okay, there's no errors here. Let's go ahead and run this test really quickly. I need, let's see, how does that work again? It's a standard cargo run, no capture, I think. No, it's over here. Cargo test, no capture. Is it dash no capture? Where did that go? Creating data, insert data, creating world, insert, query for data. Okay, so it didn't. That wasn't correct. Okay, so it's not no capture. What did I do? Oh, wait, is it this way? No. No capture Rust test. Okay, so it's cargo test dash no capture. That's what I thought. Cargo test dash no capture. Wait, was that it? Oh. Wait, I just got an okay? Hold on. Let's try this. Debug Testing. Testing if I can see this. Okay, here it is. Testing if I can see this. And then test world test, create new world. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Equals okay. Testing if I could see this. Oh, it came out twice. I don't think I'm calling query twice. So what do you return? You return a string. I'm calling query once here. There it is. I got I32 out as a string. Here it is. Weird. Okay, so that's working then. I can query for that. Now, if I wanted to query for multiple things at a time, which is kind of like a big part of ECS systems, is like, you know, query for more than one at a time. How can I do that? I would change you. Could I make you an array of these type? Can I do that? No, that really doesn't like that. We see here in query, it's a tuple of types. So maybe it does have to be a tuple of these. Okay. So what happens if I then try, okay, so here, I32, I want an I32 and an F32. So you're happy there. Do I have to set you as like a tuple? No, okay, so you don't care about that. This T is now a tuple of types. Is that what I'm seeing? So if I do a type name, it's gonna see a tuple of types, I'm guessing. Gonna surround that. See if I can see this a little bit easier. Ah, okay, so I have a tuple of I32, F32. But I don't think I can convert a tuple to an iterator. So I don't think I can like iterate through them. A vector would be nice here. Let's try that. If I do this as just like this. Okay, you're not happy with that. What if I like actually just say you're a vec? Yeah, you're not happy with that either. Expected type found reserved keyword box. What if I make you, how does, I didn't think that vectors returned a box. I thought they returned a vector. Unless there's some like weird box behind the scenes. Let me try this. Let types to query equals vec I32 F32. And we put this in here. Attempt to use a non-constant value in a constant. Okay, so that's not happy there. So can I iterate through a tuple? Or am I gonna have to create some like a generic across all the different tuples? Like the number of queries that I could do. Like I could do 0, which is doesn't get anything, like a single type, a double type, a triple type. Okay, so like debug. Range bounds. Then just primitive types. Okay, that's not helpful. It'd be really cool if I could just do it like simply. I don't think that will work. So I think I might have to use generics, and then also I might have to do like specific for the number of queries that I'm doing. So it'll be something like this, where I impl the generic for the number of generics that I'm doing. I think that's how that works. So in this case, I'm going to query for a tuple of I32, like that. So in here in query, I can't like throw the tuple around here. Do I do this query outside of here? Hello, Chantilly. This is where my lack of knowledge of generics, but that's part of what I'm doing this for. It's like to learn this a lot more. So if I do impl, say like T for data T, would it be a where? Okay, so for data T, where this is, I wonder if that create as like a super trait or like a super type. So if I do this where if it's like send plus, yeah, you're not gonna like this. But if I do something like that, where T is send plus sync plus static. Oh, impl data. Okay, so then we create a query on here. Let's move you down. Where it's just a single thing, okay? And I want to do the exact same thing here. Now I see errors. The name T is already used for generic parameters, items, generic parameters. Okay, yeah, I don't want to define you up here. Still an error right here. Remove these parentheses. Well, okay. Wrong number of type arguments, expected 0, found 1. Because data doesn't take 1. So maybe it is the query that I care about. So like maybe this query does stay up here. We don't do that impl for it separately. We just say like, okay, query, I want T. Oh, do I do it like this? T, where it's send sync static. That would be a big no. Expected a bang. Bounds and associated types do not belong here, belongs in where clause. Okay, can I do a where? Where do I do the where? Do I do it here? Where T is send plus sync plus static. Expected comma, right angle, anything other than this. Okay, so what if I do that? Oh man, okay, so it's really super unhappy. Let's go look up generics rest function. Rest by example. Okay, so we have a function, the generic, and then we can use the argument. And okay, that's great. I want a little bit more. Okay, so functions. Maybe bounds. Oh, multiple bounds. So function T. Okay, that's that. So there's two generics here. Okay, so that makes sense. These aren't as complex of generics as I'm looking to try. Oh, that's really close, isn't it? Now, it's almost like I need method overriding, which I don't want to implement. So if I do a query, because I don't know what type I'm getting. So if it is just like this send sync static like that. This is fine, kind of. If I do, okay, if we do this and we're passing in this I32, which is a tuple of that. Okay, here we see, oh, just I32. Oh, because it's not a tuple. If I add in a comma here, F32, suddenly it's going to be a tuple. All right, so we see that now. If I say I want like .0, that's, yeah, okay, so that won't work. Now, how do I tell, like, okay, you're a tuple, like, because this is a very specific type. What I'm trying to do here, I want to query for like whatever I want. So I want to hand it the type that I'm querying for. So like I32, F32. And get that out. I'm trying to use generics. I was trying to like pass in as an argument like the actual full type, but that didn't work either. Like that wasn't happy with that. We could look up, let's see, Rust function type as parameter or argument, I guess. I don't think I need a, see, that's passing as a function as a parameter. Returning closure, okay, that's not. No, that's not what I want. So basically I need to build a query. I need to be able to get the type so I can get the type ID of it. And that means what I was really trying to do originally is do something like this. Query and pass it in like an I32 and like an F32. Something like that. Or even better yet, pass in a vec of I32 F32. Now it's saying like, hey, it's not taking that. Right. I know that, but now how do I set that to like write the different functions to handle like the multiple things? So I could do this of like I32 F32 and then just do that. So that will, well, wrong number type arguments. So now how do I write the query? Can I do the same name multiple times with different parameters here? So like if I do pub function query t just send a sync and then like s. You can pass a tuple type argument in case of, well, that's what I was doing. I was doing a tuple type argument, but I don't know how many I've got in there. I guess it could be like can I get a length out of tuple? You can't find out how many. So that's my problem, is I don't know how to do that. So like if I do this as like a tuple type, so we pass in the tuple like that, and this works so far. Is we found that works, and then in here we do a type name. We show this out here, and we get this. Okay, great. We have a tuple of that. Now the problem is, well, first of all, how do I tell it that's a tuple? I don't know if I can. Can I also say like you are a tuple? Like what's a trait that only tuples have? I don't know if there is one. Like I don't think there is a tuple trait. Perhaps so like perhaps I could create like a query. Probably doing something totally wrong. Yeah, probably. What if I created a query struct? We create the query and then we do the builder pattern on it. So I just say like, give me this and give me this and give me this. And then that creates the vec of type IDs behind the scenes. That's probably what I need to do. And I think that would work. So down here, let's just say going to need to create a tuple, no, a query struct, uses the builder pattern to create queries for types one at a time. So the way I sort of envision this is we do something like let our query equals query new, and then say something like with maybe we can do like with type I32 with type F32 dot build. We do that. That gives us our query, and then in here we can then do data.query. Don't pass in any of these things, and pass it in the query. I don't know if this would be impossible, right? Because like with type, it's my own function that I've added to query, right? Like none of this exists right now. I've just sort of made it up. Thank you, Peyton. I'm not going to store the type. Well, I'm going to store the type ID. That's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm going to store the type ID. So this would takes in the type and stores the type ID. Since that's what I'm actually using in the hash map. Because the type IDs are used right here. That's what I need. I need the type IDs to get the vectors to return. So this would work, I'm guessing. What's the problem then? The problem right now is I can't figure out multiple queries at the same time for this one query. I can do one, like query only for one type, but I can't like figure out if I want like multiple. I don't know how to do that. So I mean, because I think I can do like TS is like send plus sync plus static, like that. And this would work for two types to pass in. Now, can I just like completely copy this or just like a single? The patent conspiracy. Oh yeah, that is a fitting. Yeah, duplication definitions. I need to figure out how to basically say I want query. This query is like for two types. This query is for one type. But I think that the query with the query builder will work. Why do I want multiple types? I need to be able to pass in like one time I want to pass in just like I32. So I want to do, sometimes I only care about getting one thing. It's like an I32s. Give me all the things that are type I32. Now in this case, it would be like location. Give me everything that's just locations. But then other times I want locations and at once. I don't have it yet. The builder, if I could do this, I would not have to do the builder pattern, but this is what we're gonna have to do. And we're gonna have to do it next time. So I'm gonna leave this in a completely broken state like this, but it's gonna be a great reminder for myself of what we need to do next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and save you, quit all of you out. You can easily make a macro that takes multiple type arguments and then expands to the builder pattern. You know, that might do it. Now I've never created a macro before. But that could work out pretty well too. All right, so we've got that. Let's also send this on to GitHub. I don't think I changed anything here yet. No, just ECS. Oh, you redeemed Pet the Cat. I pet Zilby like at the very beginning of the stream. Easily make a macro. Yes, I've never made a macro before, so I'm sure it's gonna be easy. Zilby's not behind the green screen, so macros are easy. I don't know if the macro I'm trying to do is easy though. Like I've seen people like implement completely different languages in macros that you could write in Rust, which is weird. Okay, so this is a work in progress, querying for the data. It's a Git Kraken, which is slightly different. I'm mostly using it to like keep on top of like how everything works. Because my team uses it. I actually expect once you get the hang of them, that's probably true. You do not have the hang of them. I really don't have the hang of them. I've not even tried one yet. So, I mean, it's definitely on the list. Okay, so with that,